and gentlemen, please welcome to Hang Out with Ashwari, Sandra Aronugwa, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Sandra is such an amazing young lady, strong young lady. She survived an abusive relationship and she's here. Introduce yourself again one more
Good
time.
evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me again today. My name is Ironugba Sandra. I am an architect, an interior designer, a baker, a fashion designer, and also a mom of twin boys. Thank you.
Wow. Awesome. Yes. Okay, Sandra, please just give us a list of things you did that made you that you can say this is how I survived living my marriage. We know that you started from zero. You actually said minus zero, like you left with nothing. So tell us the few things that you would say, okay, this is what I did. This is what I did that moved me from nothing to now owning my business. What are those things?
Yeah, so basically, first of all, I'll say thank God I had a supportive family. Now, when I mean supportive family, must not be like them giving you all the trillions in the world to start up your life, but they were there to hold me when I fell. In the sense that they were there to support me, at least help me hold my children while I had to go out to find something to do. And going back home, I tried applying for jobs, started applying for jobs. My dad called some people. I went, tried, it didn't come through. No job was coming through. And then somehow, again, this is the part that one good part life taught me, that you see the circles you have from growing up sometimes can actually be that circle you will need in the future. You never can tell. So just keep being a good person. It might speak for you someday. So I am happy to be part of my secondary school alumni. I went to an only girls secondary school. As funny as life can be, I left that secondary school after junior secondary school. That's JSS3. I went to another one, but I was active with the alumni body in Lagos chapter. Now, when I had to start all over, as difficult as life was, I had my alumni sisters because it was an only girls school. It's like even sisters, people I didn't know, I didn't meet them in school. Like they were far older than I am. Many of them graduated before I ever thought of entering secondary school in my life. But because of the association and all of that, I was able to get sisterhood from those people. They were able to call me to check up on me to say, "Oh, Sandra, I hope you're fine," and all of these things. And those things encouraged me in that difficult time. Like it was really difficult. And well, I had to start my life all over and came back to Lagos to go for my master's baking class. One of them accommodated me, Sister Tobechuku Obishai, with her mom, accommodated me. For crying out loud, this person didn't know me from nowhere. We only knew from an alumni platform, and she was there. She accommodated me for the whole month. I had to do my training in a baking school, and that support was massive. Before I came to baking school, I remember I was sewing from home. When I got back home and the pressure was coming, no job was coming, a friend of mine lended me her machine first to start. Omo, my friend Omo Vivian, she had to lend me her machine. I put it in front of my dad's house. I was just sewing, getting 2 naira. No matter what, it was not small because my kids were on diapers, they were still eating cereals and all of those things. So the expenses were much on my parents. Even if my parents were not complaining at that time, I felt that burden in me. And at still from the alumni, somehow one senior too, who had graduated long ago, who is in the US, reached out to the alumni and was trying to help like some people going through distress at that time in the alumni. And somebody listed my name and said that there's this girl Sandra and all of that. And she reached out to me, Sister Susan Bello. And I was shocked. And when she heard my story, and she was like, "Oh, Sandra, you'll be fine." And from that moment, she became like a big sister I didn't have. And she always called to check up. She followed me with the word of God, kept telling me, she kept sending me messages, added me to Bible study groups. And then she took it her duty to, in fact, I was amazed when she told me she was going to be sending me something to help me monthly with the children. and she took that really serious. Like she was so judicious with it that she never failed. I didn't. In fact, as a matter of fact, I've never met Sister Susan. Even till date, I've never met her in person. As funny as life can be, but she was there for me because of the alumni platform. Herself and her husband, in fact, she was there. I remember there was a time she even sent clothes for the boys when her parents were coming to Nigeria from America and all of that. Sister Susan was there. So while I was using my friend's sewing machine at the time, I needed to get mine. She single-handedly sent me that money to buy the sewing machine and said, Sandra, okay, since you said you can sew, why don't you get a sewing machine? And she sent me money to get one. And, I started sewing and all of that. And then my uncle supported me. My godfather in my career, architect Moses, sent me money and said, okay, buy materials to start sewing and all of that. So those people came in, they came in that time to push me, to encourage me and like help me not to go into depression. So that's why I said, even it's not about getting the millions, it's about getting people who are there to stand by you and tell you you can actually do this, you can move on. And then I was ready to actually also give in the work. you know I was I'm really grateful. The support that I got, it was even least expected. I didn't know these people. I did not know them from anywhere. My parents didn't know them, and they were willing to support me. They were willing to help me all through all those journey. And so I started sewing till I got an architectural work, a client's job. I went back to site. When that one crashed, like I said, I went to baking school. And after baking school finished, I got a mixer, I got an oven. I was at home. So I just felt like staying in Afuze was not what I wanted. I needed to do something. I needed to go back to Lagos to be able to go to school and do my master's degree and get a job. And then when I came to Lagos, again, a friend accommodated me. We're just classmates in BSc architecture, Docas. She accommodated me in her father's house. These were favors that people would not just do. So that's for you to know that no matter what, yes, it might look like it's going to be very difficult. Yes, it's difficult. The help came, and it's not going to be 100% help, but to be something that will lift up the burden, that will also give you the courage to keep moving, that is going to get better. And Dorcas and her parents, they accommodated me. They were good to me. They took me in for some months. I was able to stand on my own and then get rent and accommodation and all of that. And I kept pushing till this point. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the help that you needed was actually it came forth, and then that was an encouragement for you. And of course, on your part, you did not fold your hands. You were being helped, but you were pushing. You knew this was something that is going to pass. So you basically stepped out in faith. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Because when you were stepping out, you did not know what was ahead of you. You stepped out and for safety and all that. But as you stepped out, help came. I'm pretty sure if you were staying there, they would think you need help, and nobody would even believe what you were saying. But I'm glad you stepped out, and then the help that you needed came to push you forward. And again, they will see other things that you did. Whoever is watching this now will see other things that Sandra did in other videos that will be posting. And I also know that you want to specially mention their names and thank them, which is very good of you, because gratitude is something that is lacking in our society today. Some people think that when you do good for them, it's their right. They easily forget. That's what I've observed. People easily forget where they came from, how they got to where they currently are. But I'm glad you're not ungrateful. And people that are not ungrateful, they actually go really far. So trust me, this is just the beginning for you. So I'll give you time, Sandra, to mention the names of those people that pushed you, those people that helped you, and just thank them. And hopefully they will be seeing this video and know how grateful you are for what they did in that season of your life. And this is also a pointer that you will not be alone. For those of you listening to me, that you're in a situation like this, and your fear is that how you going to go about it. You can see that Sandra totally moved from zero, from nothing, shows something. People had, people showed up. God was there for her, obviously, and she was able to make it. Now people were helping her, and she did not fold her hands. Okay, and she was also pushing, which that part we shouldn't forget. And I am also very happy that you're not ungrateful. Matter of fact, we did this video yesterday, but you sent me a message that I forgot to mention the names of people that helped me. That is something that is worthy of note, because in these days and times, people take help for granted. People are very entitled. Let me just use that word. People feel so
Very entitled.
entitled
True.
to people's help, and I've seen, yeah, I've seen ingratitude. Like, people easily forget where they were, how they came from, where they were. When they are in situations, they come and ask for help, but when they're no longer in the situation, they'll totally forget where they came from. But I'm happy
True.
you're not one of those people that are ungrateful. And when you are not ungrateful, trust me, you go really far. And this is just the beginning for you, Sandra. The fact that
Amen.
you think it is a good thing to come and thank those people that were there for you. And I'll give you the opportunity to call their names, and hopefully they will be seeing this video and know how grateful you are for them showing up at the time they did when you were at your lowest moment. Go ahead
Mm.
and thank them, Sandra.
In no particular order, I would just call. First of all, I would thank Sister Oshua Osadolo. Funny enough, she can't remember. There was a time I called her, and myself and my children were going through a lot, and I needed money. I just started sewing in Lagos, yeah,
Okay.
and I asked for help. I haven't spoken to her in a long time. Forget the fact that I'm like a baby to her, and she helped. A lot of people
Okay.
will feel that you've not spoken to me in a long time. Who is
Oh,
this one? Why are you calling me and all of that? And she said, "Oh, okay, so I'm going to send something to you at this time." And she did. And I'm not ungrateful. I tell people I have seen the lowest, I have seen the hardest, I've seen the easiest, I've seen
okay.
the difficult part of life. And I know what it feels like to be down, like really down, because I've been there. I'm not ungrateful. And she helped. I would call Architect Moses on Osemo there. People call him my father. You know, the funny part is, it's funny how I now had to educate people that he's actually not related to me. Because I call him my uncle. I call him, I always say, oh, my father, there's nobody who knows me in architecture and doesn't know Architect Moses. Now, I went to an office to work while I just finished. In fact, I was doing my NYC. The owner of that office I knew, and I told him I needed somewhere to work, Architect Majoro. And he said, Sandra, come to the office. And I went there. And like then Moses happened to be the project manager. He did my interview and said, don't worry, my dear, we'll take you. At that time, I had not worked for a while. I just had my boys. They were barely 5 months. And like then Moses was that person that would see me in the office and call me to the table, his table, because it's like a drawing. An architectural firm is always like a drawing studio. So it just comprises of different people with their laptops, their workstations, I mean. And said, why are you looking like this? Have you eaten today? I won't answer. What's wrong with the children? I said they are fine. Are you sure? And he goes around to say, do they have diapers? That man, I
wow.
don't know what to say. Architect Moses has been more than a father. As in, I tell his children every time that they are privileged. They don't know what they have. Like, they have a ever present father. He was more than a father to me. As a matter of fact, when my dad came to Lagos for my convocation, my dad met Architect Moses for the first time and said, truly, now your picking be this. They know they follow you. As in, he was that person. Even when he didn't have, I knew how much was his salary because he would still go ahead to stress himself to be there for me and the children, even while I was still married to my ex-husband.
Wow.
Even when I left, Architect Moses still tried ways to find a way to talk to him and said, no, you didn't treat my daughter right. You treated this girl, but he was still that mediator. He's that person. And my having my master's degree today in architecture, it's not. I give him the kudos. Yes, I probably did the work, but his courage pushed me to that stage. When I said I couldn't afford to go to Caleb, Academics was like, I know you can do it. He bought the form. It might not be so expensive, but he did the first step. And when he created that step, and I knew, Sandra, you have to move. Today, people see me and they're like, nah, Papa, that's what they say. When they see me and they're like, that's her father, I'll just leave her, you know. But people that I have to explain, people say, and I tell them that he's actually my boss that became my father, himself and his wife. After Moses on the same day, I am very grateful. Sandra is extremely grateful. I know how much people have sold into me. When I needed a parent in Lagos so desperate, people were more than there. Pastor Ehime Aboga, my pastor, you know, You took insults because of me from chooks when I had to run away. But you were willing to do the right thing as a pastor. You were not one of those pastors who would tell you, go and pray and fast and cast and bind. You knew it was a life threatening situation. I can never forget when I went into premature labor with these children. You slept in the hospital chair, asking another member to take your wife and your child home. Like you made that sacrifice. And I am very grateful. You know,
Jesus.
I didn't know these people, but coming to Lagos made me know that in life, you don't need to know people for people to treat you good and for you to experience the goodness of life. You were more than there, yourself and your wife. I can't say how much I am grateful to you, Pastor His and Sister Ebele Abuga. You were supportive. You called to check up on me. You tried to find solutions to my problem. I am very grateful. For everywhere you were standing by me and for me, I am very grateful. Going down to so many other people. Architect Miriam, Sister Susan Bello. Oh Lord God Almighty, God will so bless you. Like I have not seen a human being as intentional as you. You didn't know somebody; they just told you. You wanted to help people in your alumni and say, "Oh, you're giving a gift during Christmas period," and somebody brought me my matter to you and you took it personal. You decided to be the sister, the mother, the friend. I could call you at any time, despite the time difference. You're not in Nigeria, you're in US. I could call you at any time to cry. You were there to let me cry out and say, Sandra, just cry it out. You did not just let me cry out. You supported me. You were there to encourage me. You were there to teach me the words, to say, Sandra, lean on God. You were there to make me understand that God could help me. And, not so many, even the people that I have known from my childhood, many of them can't do that. But I knew you just in an alumni. I've not still met you till today, and I can't wait for that day I will meet you. Like my gratitude to you, I can't even mention, I can't quantify it. You were such a, a key player in my life at that time. And I am so grateful because you being in my life, trust me, at that stage of my life, a lot of people will be in that stage and miss a lot of things. They will go astray because at that time they want to survive, they want to do a lot of things. But you just kept on putting the word in me, giving me the reasons to see the word, hear the word of God. And those things just kept on guiding me. Even if I had the personal discipline, I still needed that reminder to know that I'm a child of God. I needed to be on course. And you were there to put me on course. Thank you so much for your sacrifices of your money. I didn't work the money for you. You on your own, voluntarily. I am so grateful. I am more than grateful. Thank you so much. Brother Friday, my mother's brother, they call him my father's first son. Out of my mother's sibling, I still say that you are that one that they will still say is the first of my father's child. You and your wife, you always amaze me. Always there. Even when my mom tried to give me difficult times, you still supported me like your younger sister. I remember when I came back home and you saw me for the first time, you cried. That's the first time I'll see you crying. Like by Friday, you cried. And I could see you say, is this my sister? Sandra, is this you? I saw the pain. And you still had to go out of your way to find a way to support me in every time. I remember when we came back by Friday, you have forgotten, you came home to see us in the father's house and you said and you gave my mother money and said they should add it to buy food stuff for the children to eat. Like you felt my children needed to eat because we're looking unkept. You see, those things you might have forgotten, but Sandra does not forget because I knew the people that picked me when it was my lowest. I knew my siblings, my parents. You people are amazing. You know how grateful Sandra is. Luis, my immediate elder brother, they call him my twin. Out of all my siblings, I stressed you. Jatin and Justin gave you hell. You have to turn the father, uncle, brother. You will do school run, you do everything. Trust me, I know your children will be so amazed to have a father like you because, man, you did a great job. You were so supportive. You didn't have a job at that time, but no matter how little came to your hand, you prioritized Jaden and Jason first. You were next. I saw it. I saw everything. I might pretend like I didn't see it. Even when I had to go to sites during COVID, you had to sacrifice your own self to stay at home in Afuze for my children. For crying out loud, you're older than I am. And you did that. I saw it. Trust me, I do. I'm not ungrateful. Sister Tobe Obishai. Hey, and mommy Obishai, like I would say, mommy, she's a Sandra, my baby. In fact, as I'm doing this call, I just saw a message popped up on my WhatsApp. She was always that, those sweet grandmothers that are extremely amazing. That's mommy. for you to have accommodated somebody who you know from nowhere during the heat of COVID, that people were scared and saying, oh, people were carrying COVID all around. And you were not just a young woman, you were in your old age. People would have been scared that, oh, this person is bringing COVID, in, and you would have contacted it, your immune system and all of that. But you made that huge sacrifice and said, no, you told Sister to bring her in. And you did not just accommodated me, you became my mother. Like, you became my mother. You took me as a child. You prayed for me. You advised me. You still pray for me. You still advised me. You sacrificed for me. You gave to me. In fact, what else? And you also blessed me. Ah, even to date, I still know how much you call me and say, my daughter, my prayer for you is that you leave that place. And my prayer is that somebody, a good man, will come and marry you. You still say it every time. You don't fail to say it, mommy. You don't. And that's for me to know how much love you had to give to me as a child. Like, a child that was brought from outside, not the one you gave birth to. You gave me that much love. I am so grateful. Sister Tobe, my my ride or die Sister Tobe. Every time, anytime, you left me in this country, Sha, but no problem. I'm doing fine. That's always been your wish. And I'm happy. And I'm also happy you're doing fine. I know how we struggled together. I know how you called me. You felt your pain, like you were that person that you were vulnerable with me. I was vulnerable with you. You're a big sister. In fact, you're like a mother, but you choose to see me as your second party and just say, Sandra, it was difficult, you say it. It was easy. We went through it. And we did the celebration. When I even left your house, we are still finding ways to meet. I miss you every day. Like, I miss you every day of you no longer being in Nigeria. I still say thank you so much, Sister Toby. Thank you for agreeing to accommodate me. That's a very huge sacrifice. In the heat of COVID, you did that. Even when mommy was aged, you did that. And I know that your blessings are endless. They are endless. Your love towards Jaden and Jesse, even when you have traveled, you are still finding ways to send them some small things. And like, these are for my boys. I'm amazed. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. Dorcas, Ologure, the Ologure family. When I was to come to Lagos, Dorcas, you said, Sandra, just come. Don't worry. I will get it. You are a true friend. Maybe I've never said this to you a lot of time. I will say it to you here. You're a good friend. You're a good friend. And a friend that sits closer than a brother. You're a good friend. You took me in, even when it was not convenient for you, even when it was not comfortable for you. You took me in. You accommodated me, even in hardship. We were there. You support your father, your mother were there. We all were like you were supportive. Thank you so much for accommodating me and even giving me a space to stay so that I can find life. It was more than enough. I could have as well stayed under the bridge for crying out loud. But you told me, Sandra, you can stay, and your parents were supportive. Thank you for the love. It was more than sufficient at that time. Thank you so much. Thank you for every time that we had to just scrape our pockets and pitch from here, pick from here, and just find a way to survive. It was really a lot. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful, so grateful. And every other person that had to meet along the way, every other person, Andrew, Tarazit Tarawali, the Tarawali family, the Sierra Leone family, they adopted me and later turned me to their own. Thank you. I am grateful. And in this course of journey, I had to find family from outsiders, from people I didn't know. They became family. And it was worth it for me. It was more than a lesson. Christ Embassy Ogombo Church, Sister Nike. You are hey, my own barrister, now my barrister, my friend. You're a sweetheart, You know all the times I've had to call you and you just put your ears listening here and say, Sandra, just cry, rant it out, just complain. And I will rant everything out. I will say my pain the way it is. Thank you. Pastor Newton, Pastor Shego, and Pastor Fumi Awodia, my adopted parents, I love you so much. Thank you also for supporting me. Sister Blessing Glenn and Uncle Glenn, thank you so much. Sister Blessing Glenn, now, you call me and like, Sandra, have you closed from the office? You don't have food to eat at home. You better stop in my house. So hunger will finish you. you know, Friend I met even buying baking things. I met her buying baking things. Right now, everybody knows she's my elder sister. I still have to now start explaining to people, oh, she's not my sister. We actually met like this, but she's my elder sister. And thank you all so much. A lot of people I cannot even start mentioning. You people all were there to tell me that, Sandra, you can pass through this phase. You'll get through it. Just keep going. Even when it became tougher, Florence Otoge, You're now you have Jackman, now you have left me to Roots, Aburime, all of you. I am so grateful. Jennifer Igbinosa, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for friends who became family. I'm grateful for strangers who became siblings, who became aunties, who became mothers, fathers to me. People don't know how much you did for me. I am the one that will tell you how much you did. Like, you did so much, so much more, that if not for people like you, maybe I would have gone into depression, because there were times I had to stay alone, cry inside my house, and cry and cry and cry, and I just needed to vent it out. And I had, at that time, I just said, I'm tired, I am exhausted. This thing is tiring, it's exhausting. And people were just there for me to call. Bukiolo Nuga, Stadolakbo, man, you were just there. I could just call you and like rant and complain. And you just tell me you are fine. Sandra, you be fine. Brother Benny Robe, you were just there, Robe. You were there. You were there at every time. You were not just there, you were a supporter, you encouraged me, you led me to always believe that God was there for me. Thank you, because at that time, you people also made me remember that the key factor, God, I didn't take him for granted. You kept reminding me to just keep holding on to God. And today, here I am. Here I am. We are not yet there, but we are getting there. It's just been God doing his wonders. It's just been God seeing me through. It's just been God pushing us from every stage to stage. Olajide Ajigo, thank you. All of you had Engineer Wole Adeileka, Dr. Femi, everybody. I don't even know. So much. Thank you so much. Sandra is grateful. And trust me, I will say to everyone that help will come. Just first of all, leave first. Help will come. It might look like it's not coming, but it will come. Don't think it will come in the midst in the hands of family. Just look at God, and let God send those helpers that you never thought would come. He will just position them in strategic places. I told you, I met Sister Blessing in a baking shop. I met Architect Moses in the office where I worked. He just positioned these people in different places at a particular time, because he knew I was going to need them some point in my
Finally.
life. And that was how it was. So thank you so much, everyone. I'm grateful.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sometimes that scripture where it says it's not good for a man to be alone, we always attribute it to marriage. But I think God did not create us to be alone. I'm glad they showed up for you, and I'm glad Sandra is fine. And like you said, you keep moving forward. This is not it. God has taken you from zero to where you currently are, and God is not done with you. All right, everyone, we have so much to say about this. We'll be posting videos and we'll be linking videos, and you will see how Sandra moved from zero to where she is now. And thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to comment. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to share this with your friends, because guess what? Many, many more good things are coming on this channel. Thank you and bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you. Bye.